This one trying to get me. This one trying to trying to get me. but but I'm but I'm going to breathe. But I am going to breathe through the choking until I can talk normal and say Magu Zian Sho. Divine, divine marijuana brings immortality. But it might make you choke sometime. I had a guy that was supposed to be a student, and he got me into coughing, because he was like, everything was muscles to him, so he would look, even in the Bible, he would find a piece of a word and be like, look, this is talking about the muscles, and, he was kind of muscular. So he'd be like, when cannabis is actually the guy that made my first holy chalice, which you might call the Bong, and that's where I got the 5 hands from, which we are going to talk about this early in the morning. The hands, excuse me, the hands of Kannabis Kung-Fu. Hand, 2, hand. Hand to hand. So, now, the first hand is the fist. Well, the first hand I'm going to show is the fist, because I already talked about, the little ritual that I do. The one thing that I didn't say about the whole ritual, doing this and stuff, is that I'm doing the 3-part ritual at the beginning of the videos. I'm, this way the shield, this way the wheel, and this way the tray, right? But when one Kannabis Kung Fu student bows to another, or sees another Kannabis Kung Fu student in the street or whatever, you don't go through all that. You just say, huh, you understand it? This is it, the tray, and I explain what all this is, the 3 treasures and the microcosmic orbit on the tray. This is, or represents, the elixir of immortality. And this represents the tray that Magu brought the immortals, the sages, all them type of high fluting type spatch pippers. You understand? Every 800 years, Magu brings the elixir of immortality and offers it or gives it to all of them, the sages, the mortals, all these guys collecting at Mount Kunlun. So, this is the story behind, or one of the stories behind what it is I am teaching. It's not just I smoked a joint one day or a blunt. Like, yo, dude, I think I'll kick and punch like I'm high, man. No. This is a real system of Kung Fu. And if you don't do Kung Fu, then what are you? Well, maybe you just want to hear what I gotta say. So anyway, I just like to rhyme, or at least think I'm rhyming. The hands, hand to hand. So that's, I think that's all of it. You see, that's just that's just the that's just the salute. You understand? I have to explain everything because everything is in this system is new. You understand? Like you can find a whole bunch of information on Eagle Claw, mostly from my teacher, and then his teacher's daughters are out here in Los Angeles. So there's kind of a rift who's really the grand of the Eagle Claw. So anyway, you can find information on that. You can find information. You can find a bunch of information on Tai Chi. You can find a bunch of information on Bagua, Xing. But I have combined boxing with Tai Chi, with, well, actually, yeah, with Tai Chi, I might as well say. Yeah, I've combined boxing with Tai Chi. So the boxing is about fitness and learning how to fight relatively fast. I have 10 month course, and by the time is a certification course, and by the time you're certified to be a consultant or instructor in Cannabis Kung-Fu, and all you're learning is these 8 punches that, well, I added some punches to regular boxing. So it's eight punches as opposed to jab, cross, which we consider the same punch. Jab, cross, uppercut, hook. We don't do the hook like this in Kung Fu because now all this is open. So I get my hook from Muhammad Ali. See, if you look at Ali, to me, a hook is going this way, right? But Ali, I think in those days, illegally, but he was Ali, so he got away with it. He's hitting with these knuckles here, and his elbows is still down, protecting his ribs. So looks like he's just slapping you, but he's hitting with these knuckles. These knuckles are dangerous just as these knuckles are. You understand? If he didn't have gloves on, you ever see Ali hands? You ever see Bruce Lee hands? People, oh, he not a martial artist. Okay, let him hit you with one of them god dag nabbit knuckles. Anyway, so the fist is the first hand. Now, I know there are those of you who probably already know how to make a fist and all that. But again, I don't know. I might be having people come here that are brand new to martial art or fighting or boxing or anything. So, the first hand is the fist. I'll get into the actual 8 fists of the style system. Is a style and a system. Yeah. system of a style or a style of anyway. So we'll get into the 8 different types of fists that you can hit with. But how do you make a fist? This is a hand. No, I'm not gonna get that basic. So a natural hand, right? And you put your fingers together. It's not tense, but it's not like, hey, baby. It's not like, I'm not gonna say that. It's not like soft. So you just put a little life into the hand, and then you bend the top fingers like that, and then you keep on curling them, and you're trying to get this flat right here. You're trying to, understand. You don't want a finger sticking out. If your shit was broken or something, there's something else. But what you're trying to do is get this flat. You understand? And then you taking the thumb here, take that thumb, and just put it across them first two. You don't want to, you don't need to. I mean, I guess you can. I don't know if it make it any weaker or any stronger, but you usually go first across the first two fingers. You ain't trying to reach the pinky like. I don't know. That's like if you're really, really mad. Well, anyway, just across the first two fingers. Now, in Tai Chi, the fist we learn, it is actually like part of the 1-inch punch of Bruce Lee. Like we would leave a space. Like the hands are loose, but when you punch, everything tightens at the moment of the strike. As soon as the fist hits the person, it tenses up, and then just like that, it relaxes again. So we practice with, we were able to see through the fist, and then when the fist is hitting it, it tenses up. So that's a short explanation of the fist. Because some styles now would probably have the fist tensed all the time, so you're getting cramps in your fingers and be like, oh, damn, let me relax now. No, we relax, and then as soon as I hit you, no matter how I hit you, that's the moment the fist tenses up, and then it relaxes right after that. So it's like, pow, and then relax, just like that. Another hand is what's the other hand? Well, see, let me go through the 5 hands of the Kannabis Kung-Fu. Well, you can't really see it up here, but this one right here, that little thing right there, I showed it already, and I didn't get into it. That's the 5 elements. So that's what the 5 hands of Kannabis Kung Fu is based on. Oh. So, the fist represents Earth. So, in the chart up there, it starts out with fire, and fire creates Earth. But we're going to start out with Earth because that's the most yang or yang, 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 yang. That's the most young, the most male, the most, I'll fuck you up, motherfucker, I'll fuck you up. That's the yang, extreme. Earth, strength and muscles and bones and all that good shit. And then we move into the metal. Now, we know metal as knives and maybe spears and hard metal that can stick into you. Now, we think of knives and things as hard, but in this system, metal is actually where we start getting into Magu. And the hand that we use is going to be a unique hand, and it is based on metal. But think of it like, what do you call that? Mercury. Mercury is metal, but it is also liquid. So even though we're going to be learning to use the metal hand this way, this is what makes it unique. Can you get it there? Oh, well, let me put it down. The Magu hand is like a tray, like she holds the tray. I had to come up with something because, like dragon style, Magu is a mythical being. We don't believe in goddesses or gods. We don't believe. If I don't know, I don't know. I will say believe, but most shit I know. But anyway, so we can use this like a knife hand, chop, 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 stab, stab, and a spear hand, stab, 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 stab. But when we get into it, I'm gonna show you how we use it softly. Now, soft in English might sound like, like soft. No. Like I was showing you, it's not like hard, but it's not like limp either. Soft in internal Kung Fu. Well, for so-called black people, you probably understand a belt. If you ever got whipped with a belt. A belt is soft, ain't it? Not when it's hitting you on the ass. It gets a little hard. It leaves whelps, like shaped like the belt. Your mother beat your ass. I've been beat once or twice. My mother wasn't strict and beating me, but she thought I was selling herb one time or weed, and it was oregano. But anyway, she whipped my ass. She woke me up whipping my ass, and then afterward the shape on your ass be like the belt and shit. So, but the belt is like this, soft. Another example. I've had students that tell me some stories. I can't believe what we, I might as well say. I never beat my children, but what black people beat their children with, and I know it comes from slavery, da da da. It's time to get out all that bullshit. So students have told me they've been beat with, how you go get the what they call it, a switch. You go break a twig, not a twig. Well, you might be trying to be slick and just get a little twig, but when your grandma tell you go get a switch, boy, go get a switch so I can whip your ass. You go get the switch so I could whip your ass. You be like, bring back a little piece of wood like that. Here you go. Boy, go get a switch. So you got to bring back a switch. Now that can be considered soft also, because when she whipping that ass, it's going like this. It's not like it's not like a steel bar like. So they understood the whip. Where did they get that idea from? Black people, where did you get the idea of the whip and whipping someone's ass? I used to put my children in the corner, but I ain't gonna get into all that. So those are examples of soft. You understand? Now hard, the first form of no form using fist, is like again, in internal styles, we're not using it like Bruce Lee said, we're not using it like an iron bar. We're using it like a chain with a ball attached at the end. So instead of saying wrong, it says whang, and it hurt inside. So we're going to get into the Magu hand. Magu holds the tray. So the different, um, we don't say blocks, different neutralizations and different things of the Magu hand. So that's, so the first is the fist, which is earth. Earth turns, I'm going by how it's done, not making this shit up. Earth turns into metal. Now metal is in the earth and it melts, or like I was saying, if it's like mercury, then it's liquid. So metal or the liquid becomes wood. The idea is like when you water the earth. Um, well, anyway, the metal becomes water, and then it nourishes the trees and all that good stuff that grow. So wood is my teacher, my Sifu is the Grand Master of Yin Jiao Pai Eagle Claw. So for wood, I have taken his eagle claw, and this is a specific way of doing eagle claw. This is the northern Shaolin eagle claw. So in that chart up there, wood penetrates or pierces the earth. So the earth in the physical body would be your muscles and bones. So we use the eagle claw to grab the muscles or the joints and twist the joints, and I'm gonna put these nails in your neck and your muscles, and this eagle claw is painful. Eagle claw hurts a lot. Ouch, hurt. So anyway, so now we have earth changes into metal, or wait a minute, what the heaven am I talking about? Okay, earth changes into metal, metal changes into water. I just skipped water. Metal changes into water, and then water nourishes wood. So forget or take all the stuff I just said about the eagle claw, which is wood, and put it after what I'm getting ready to say now about water. Now, I try to be as reality based with the system and as scientific as I could. So, with that being said, there are 4 phases of water. I kind of adapted a phase or so from the real phase, but let's go through. So, I had to come up with a hand for each of the different phases of water, not just one hand. So from metal, even though we can use it different ways, it's still the same hand. It's still either a knife hand or a spear hand, blah, blah, blah. But with water, we have the changing hand. So, now, it's based in reality. You think about it. How many phases does water go through that you can do on your own? You put some ice cubes in the refrigerator. See, I'm older man. I still say ice box, boy. Put some water in the ice box. When I was coming up, it was just a box, and some guy came around and he bought a big ass piece of ice, and you put it in the box. Excuse me. We didn't need no refrigerator and all that, but we had an ice box. But anyway, so that's one phase. That's like the lowest vibration, ice, right? So in the Tao, we consider the sexual energy like the ice. It's like everything condensed into a tight little cold ass package. Note on cold. Black men, when you wear those um, briefs that is all tight and you have your testicles pushed up all against your body. Your testicles are supposed to hang and they're supposed to be cool. They're not supposed to be up against the body getting hot all day. Especially if you like one of them guys that be working and your balls getting all hot and sweaty, and that kills your sperm. So you be like, I'm trying to have a baby, but I don't know what's the matter. You done cut off your sperm, boy. Anyways, so that's the ice. It's supposed to stay cool, men. Then we move up to the solar plexus, the chi. Now, ice, if you put it in a pot, and put fire under the pot, I'm not going to show down there. If you put fire under the pot, the ice will melt and become water. So in Tao, we say the water rises into the soul from the lower abdomen and sexual organs. It rises to the solar plexus. So we have earth, right? We have metal, and then we have water. So the first hand in water is like, if you ever went to the beach or seen some water, the first hand in water is like splashing. So I'm gonna do it forward, but if somebody was trying to punch you in, in the lower abdomen, you splash. If you know how to beat the drum, you know what I'm talking about. You like, bah! It's like if you hit a fly, bah! You don't say, ay, oh, ooey. You like the fly all in your face and bugging you and shit. You be like, bow! You don't think about it, you just bow! So that's splash, okay? Somebody trying to hit you here, bow, bow. Hit that mother, bow, 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 bow. Okay, so that's splashing. That's the water. And then water, when you put it in the cauldron and put fire under the cauldron, rises and changes into steam. So after you splash, the hand can rise. This represents steam rising. It's a neutralization. We don't say block. So if the fist is coming to punch me in the nose like this, I just rise, rise. Oh, this ain't church. So I just rise and, move it to the side. I don't have to come way out here. My head is only this big. It might be big, but it ain't that big. You know what I'm saying? So I only have to move it this way. Now, when I create steam, from there, I can grab the wrist and create rain. So from steam, oh, damn, almost pulled my arm out the socket, boy. So rain is suddenly pulling down. If you ever did that to somebody, you see their neck go like, ugh, and you hear that, that sound come out like, ugh. Yeah, you be careful if you don't do that to children and stuff like that, because you can break the back of the neck. They be like whipping, like it's like a whip. Rise, steam, rain, fall. And the last manifestation of water is ice. Now, in the Wu style of Tai Chi Chuan, which I studied with Grandmaster Leung Shum, I didn't study Eagle Claw, but they was right next door. So, actually, I did take a couple of classes. I just learned the basic, movements of grabbing with the claw and how to, measure the claw, da 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 da. So I did study that. But the last hand of the water, the fourth hand, in science it would be what they call plasma. But we are going to take the last um, form of water and make it a icicle. Icicle. Yeah, that's a good one. Icicle. Instead of icicle, it'd be icicle. Now I mentioned Wu style because this is a hand that we use in the Wu style Tai Chi. I did not make it up. What I did make up is that it's the ice hand as opposed to just this. This is. I mean, we use it for poking and stuff, but this is how. This is one of the movements from the Wu style. You understand? So ice is like I'm gonna poke you like block and then poke you in the eye with those five fingers. Those five fingers are put together is also a meditation in the Wu style of Tai Chi Chuan. Yeah, we used to have to look at the tips of our fingers like in meditation, like. So what's happening here? You're bringing chi to the tips of your fingers just by focusing. Anything you're focusing now, your eyes and your attention on is going to bring life force, bioelectromagnetic energy to that spot. It's not ooga booga, ooga booga, ooga booga. It's life force going to the spot. In this case, the tips of my finger. So if I hit you in a pressure point like these are the lungs, you bow, bow, negro, bow. Or if I hit you with the steam, bow, bow. You know, they call this soft. Boo. Don't do this at home. So now water makes wood. So go back to the explanation of wood. Wood pierces earth and grabs the joints, blah, 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 blah. So now, wood, when you rub it together, baby, like rub it together, and when you rub it together, guess what it creates? Fire! Boom, 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 boom. Oh, so when you rub some wood together with another piece of wood, you get fire. So the fire hand, I do like this. If you notice, none of the hands have the thumb sticking out the side because you're in the middle of a fight and you doing the thumb sticking out. Two things that happen: your opponent can grab your damn thumb and break that shit off, or when you throw your palm, it get caught up in your clothes, or the guy move and you hit him with your thumb, and now your thumb is broke. Now you're looking down, and and as you looking down at your hand, like, ow, he's punching you all in your face. You know what I'm saying? Keep your hand closed if you're in a fight. That's reality. This is not movie kung fu like. So, the fire hand, if you look at my hand, is shaped like a flame. And in Kung Fu, sometimes this may be called the willow leaf palm. And it works just like the flame, like when I be doing my left, the feminine side. So that's how the palm works. In Tai Chi, this type of palm was used back in the day. A lot of Kung Fu people used to have what's called the iron shirt or iron body. So the palm is used like striking first with the tips of the fingers, boom, and then pressing down It's like one move, really. Boom, boom. So you're breaking the bands of the iron shirt, boom, and then pushing chi or destructive life force. This is not healing. It's all intention, whether you're trying to heal a person or trying to bust their heart open. This is busting their heart open. So this is fire. So fire, from fire starts the cycle all over again. Fire creates earth. Earth creates metal. Metal creates water. Water creates wood. Wood creates fire. So, that is the basis. I wanted to actually show some other stuff because, I like dressing up. When I talk about that stuff, I wanted to be dressed up in my Kung Fu uniform type thingy. But this is okay. I got the holy herb on my chest. And on the wall, as it says, hand to hand. And I guess that's it. Hand to hand type stuff. That's it. I'm out. Peace. That's my opening and closing music video. I'm out. I'm almost gone. It's just about over.